This is Group 3's virtual presentation of Ford Motor Company Supply Chain Strategy, brought to you by Alfredo, Chad, Jason, Ginger, Carmela, and Richard. In this presentation, we will go over general issues, main stakeholders, theories and concepts, symptoms and problems, alternatives and evaluation criteria, best solution and implementation plan, evaluation and review of the project, and current status update.
We will now discuss the general issues and provide you with a little background on Ford Motor Company. Ford was incorporated in 1903 by Henry Ford and has been based in Dearborn, Michigan ever since. Ford grew to become the second largest industrial corporation in the world, with revenues topping more than $144 billion. Additionally, they employed 370,000 employees working across 200 countries. In the 1970s, Ford began to experience significant competition due to the expansion of foreign-based auto manufacturing imports like Toyota and Honda. In 1995, in response to market demands and growing competition, Ford embarked on a restructuring plan called Ford 2000. To become and stay competitive, Ford needed to improve quality, reduce cycle times, and lower its cost. The Ford 2000 initiative also included merging its North American, European, and international automotive operations into a single global organization. While in the midst of restructuring, Ford also made the move to acquire Volvo in 1999. Ford 2000 also came at a time when internet technology and web standardization was growing at an incredible rate. As such, in 1996, Ford launched a company-wide intranet, and by 1997 had business-to-business capabilities. With this level of organizational change came significant challenges. How does Ford efficiently standardize processes, products, and implement IT across a globalized organization, including newly acquired Volvo? How can Ford leverage new technologies to change supplier interaction and management? How could Ford leverage IT to enhance materials flows and reduce inventories? What would it take to train suppliers to improve their operations using just-in-time inventory, total quality management, and statistical process controls? An additional significant challenge came in supporting the organization's goal of reducing order to delivery timelines from 65 days to 15 days. Next, we will talk about the main stakeholders in this process.
For our main stakeholders, we identified our external stakeholders as media, customers, competitors, suppliers, dealers, local community, regulatory agencies, as well as government. For the internal suppliers, we identified employees, shareholders, executive leadership, Ford subsidiaries, and FIECO.
Theory and concepts. In this slide, I am going to be discussing three main theory and concept areas. First, understanding the business model and making decisions. Second, discussing the impact IT had on business transformation. And third, IT impact on the organization. As you can see, each of these triggers the next area, and the overall result is the value that is created. Starting with understanding Ford's business model and making decisions, Ford's business model strategy was assessed to identify both the positive and negative key trends influencing their profitability. Assessing the limitations within their own business network and understanding the changes needed in supply chain strategy and supplier relationship management were very important. Reviewing their capabilities and taking action to standardize processes, consolidate infrastructure, and changing their approach of dealer involvement led to providing value to their end customer and increasing overall shareholder value. Second, IT played an important role in this transformation. IT had an impact on strategy. IT initiatives such as the intranet, extranet, and automotive network exchange were key to setting the foundation of this transformation. Additionally, IT furthered vendor supply chain integration, as some had EDI capabilities and some did not, and assisted in integration with key suppliers and providing expertise in just-in-time inventory, total quality management, and statistical process control. They also recognized the limited IT capabilities of other suppliers, and they became second or third tier suppliers. IT also had an impact on core capabilities and the pathway to business transformation. IT was key in incremental improvement throughout the Ford business, reducing company costs by increasing operational efficiencies. IT played a large role in the Ford 2000 initiatives around business process reengineering, focusing on virtual integration strategy, which were several IT projects around supplier integration, leaner manufacturing operations, and decreasing order to delivery time. It opened the door to emerging opportunities such as involving dealerships in the forecasting process and achieving the order-to-delivery vision that increased overall value to the customer. It also set the foundation for the entire business transformation, which led to furthering global growth through the Ford Retail Network distribution. The third area discusses several ways IT impacted the entire organization. Global standardization of process procedure led to cost reductions. IT was also used to employ technology for global teams to help transform the global company. It helped improve communications and better forecasting with dealers, and it was key to integrating Tier 1 suppliers. Thanks.
There are several symptoms and problems that can be seen with this case. First up, all three U.S. automakers were seeing their markets being encroached upon. Foreign manufacturers were expanding their exports, and a battle for advantage on the market was ensuing. Ford needed to gain competitive advantage by improving quality, reducing cycle time, and lowering cost. They also needed to consider alternate approaches in the retail distribution. Another issue they saw was multiple suppliers had various IT integration capabilities. This led to the problem of not being very cost effective when trying to accommodate all the suppliers. Purchasing decisions were independent and only considered product cost itself. And engineers were not involved in product purchase decisions. They needed to reduce the number of their suppliers. They needed to consider the full cost of the supply chain. They also need to determine key suppliers to partner with and manage those relationships. Another symptom was customer orders could take from 45 to 65 days. There was challenges in obtaining good forecasting information. They did not include dealers in forecasting decisions. So they needed to reduce their time from 45 to 65 days down to 15 days. Regular communication was needed to obtain forecasting information from dealers. And the last symptom I'm going to discuss is production operations were out of alignment with demand. This was due to a push strategy being utilized. So Ford needed to consider a pull strategy for better alignment, such as they used in the Dell model.
Alternatives and evaluation criteria. Alternative 1 is to do nothing, as Ford has established themselves as a steady Eddie and a key player in the automotive industry. The pros of this alternative are to maintain the status quo, as by maintaining the status quo, there's minimal risk involved, as the company is performing to shareholders' expectations. Some cons of doing this alternative are shareholder value remains unchanged. When they see companies like Dell, this may make Ford less appealing to current and future investors. Additionally, the supply chain will continue to perform with great complexity, quality control will remain a struggle, and vendor management will remain difficult. Alternative 2 is to form a global organization with Ford 2000, which involves a worldwide company realignment. Some pros of this restructuring will allow for overlap within the organization, provide an external image to shareholders or investors of continuous improvement, will align the vision for the company globally, and additionally, economies of scale would assist the company in saving money. Some cons to this alternative are shareholder uncertainty. Can Ford convince their investors, current and future, that this is the right move, especially with the large capital investments required in IT systems, infrastructure, and training? Also, this alternative is reliant on perfection or as close to perfection as possible. Alternative number 3 is the realignment of the purchasing department and be like Dell. Some pros to this alternative may improve supplier performance, reduce overhead amongst departments. Connecting R&D would allow for a transfer of knowledge, technical/design aspect, to be used as a negotiation advantage. Some cons to this alternative complexity is the supply chain and the amount of vendors, a potential increase in operating costs, uncertainty in the industry around this realignment option. Alternative number 4 is to build on the Ford Retail Network, or FN. Some pros of this would be increasing business in new and used vehicles, service, parts and body shop, as well as Ford Credit, which is a large opportunity that Ford has not taken full advantage of. This will also allow for consistency amongst dealers as Ford assumes ownership and control through geographical acquisitions and mergers. This would reduce the number of showrooms, allowing for cost savings to be used elsewhere. Some cons to this is the utilization of working capital to finance loans. Short-term results may not appeal to the shareholder. Increase of the span of control by assuming the operation of dealers. And then large upfront capital to purchase these dealers.
In the 1990s, Ford began efforts to simplify its supply chain and reduce the number of vendors with which it worked. These efforts included just-in-time, total quality management, and statistical process control initiatives with its remaining vendors of choice. This laid the basic groundwork for Ford 2000, a multi-year restructuring project. Information technology, or IT, was so integral to the process, Ford moved it into the re-engineering division. The changes continued with the launch of retail internet sites, continued supply chain management efficiencies, and business-to-business, or B2B, capabilities. Order-to-delivery and the Ford Retail Network came online in mid-1998. A move from fixed to variable costs could be realized leveraging these networks for customer orders. The reduction of inventory for information further streamlined Ford's ability to answer market needs by changing the primary driver from production to demand. In review, the results of Ford 2000 showed some impressive returns for the company: amassed profits of $6.9 billion, record employee profit sharing, world leader in truck sales, most improved automaker 1997 in a J.D. Power study, to name a few. Also, Ford continues to benefit from the Ford Production System, Order-to-Delivery, and Ford Retail Network programs designed as part of the Ford 2000 restructuring efforts.
Here are the 2015 revenues for Ford Motor Company. Ford's business strategy is embodied in their One Ford plan, which was adopted in 2007 and has guided the company ever since. Since 2007, global operations has gone from 27 platforms down to 9. Ford is fine-tuning the balance between using the biggest possible number of parts in common to achieve economies of scale versus the need to tailor parts to regional requirements.